Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
The hottest team in baseball is in a hot city as we welcome you to matinee baseball today from Marlins Park in Miami. It's the Brewers, winners of 2 of 3 so far in this 4-game series, set to take on the Miami Marlins. And on the hill, pretty good mound matchup, Marco Estrada. His team has won his last 4 starts. Josh Johnson on the other side, his team has lost his last 5 starts. So Estrada and Johnson on the hill. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Jerry Augustine. Thanks for watching Brewer Baseball here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Marco Estrada pitching very well as of late there, Jerry, but he wants to beat a team besides the Chicago Cubs. Those are his 2 victories. How's he going to get it done?
Well, it all starts with being able to throw that off-speed stuff over the plate. His curveball and changeup are so important to him for throwing strikes, being able to use the fastball. But the one thing that Marco has done in his last few outings, he's speeding up the pace a little bit, getting the ball, getting the sign, and going right after hitters. That pace, he feels very comfortable. It feels like he's throwing the ball better than ever.
A sparkling ERA over those last 3 starts, 0.50 for Marco Estrada. Let's see what he can do here this afternoon in Game 4. And the Brewers are getting offensive as they fight their way back towards 500. Dan Rock break down some very impressive numbers as we get ready to play ball from Marlins Park.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Day baseball in Miami today. A beautiful day out there on the water. Certainly a beautiful day inside Marlins Park, climate controlled, and the final game of this 4-game series. It's the Brewers and the Miami Marlins. Hi, everybody. We welcome you back from Marlins Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Looking forward to today's matchup. The Brewers have a chance to win this series and continue this amazing push they've been on. They've won 13 of 16 games. Rock, they're going to have to do it today without a Ramos Ramirez. Left yesterday's game with a back injury. They may think it's an oblique as well. But the offense has been humming along at a great pace here lately.
No, it's not just a couple of guys. It's not just Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart. The key to the success for this offense right now is everybody contributing. You see what they've been able to do. Hitting almost 300 in a 16-game stretch. Look at all the home runs. Almost 30 home runs and averaging almost 7 runs a game. And when you talk about offense, it's got to come from 1 through 8 in that batting order. Aoki doing a great job. Ricky Weeks, a big day yesterday with 4 RBIs. Ryan Braun continues to do what he does. Everybody up and down the lineup contributing, and that's what it takes. The offense has been very good to go along. Some very good pitching. The bullpen finally has started to put things together, and that's why the Brewers are on this nice run right now.
Well, no opposing team here in Miami has hit more home runs in a series than the Brewers. They've hit 6. A series on the line. It's either going to be a split or a series win. The Brewers are hoping for the latter as they head to St. Louis to start a showdown tomorrow. And we welcome you back from Miami. Beautiful Marlins Park, the inaugural season here of this brand new venue. And unfortunately, there aren't many people to watch this one here today. We're glad you're with us on Brewers Television, Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ron Roenicke and the Brew Crew trying to make it 3 out of 4 here in Miami. And the Brewers now just 2 games under 500. That is goal number 1 for the Brewers. And then, says the manager, we'll start to look at the wild card race. Brewers are 67 and 69. Here is Roenicke's batting order today. It's brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Nori Aoki leads off. Ricky Weeks in the 2-hole with Ryan Braun batting third. In the middle of the order, it's Corey Hart, Jonathan Lucroy, and Carlos Gomez. Jeff the Yankee will start at third base for Ramirez. Gene Segura, the shortstop. And Marco Estrada will pitch and bat ninth. And there is big Josh Johnson, all 6 feet 7 inches of him. It's been a bit of a down year this year for Josh Johnson at 7-11, an ERA of 3.86. He has not been the dominant force that he has been over the last couple of years.
Velocity down just a little bit. He's lost his last 4 decisions in a row, although he pitched very well his last time out, allowing only 1 run in 8 innings. He left with a 3-1 lead after 8, but was victimized by a blown save here at Marlins Park against the Mets. He's got very good numbers. He's never lost to the Brewers. He's 3-0 in 6 starts.
And let's check the defense behind Josh Johnson for the Marlins today. Brian Peterson, Justin Ruggiano, and Giancarlo Stanton. Around the horn, it's Donnie Murphy, Jose Reyes, Donovan Solano, and Greg Dobbs. And Rob Brandley will make his 3rd start of this 4-game series. Young catcher coming to the Marlins from the Tigers. Ed Hickox is calling the balls and strikes today. Chris Conroy, Mark Carlson, and Angel Hernandez on the bases. Angel Hernandez is the crew chief. Here's Nori Aoki ready to get us started here today. And a baseball gets loose in center field. Now the Brewers are headed to St. Louis for a series beginning tomorrow, and that'll be a much different atmosphere than what we have here in Miami today. First pitch of the ball game is upstairs, ball 1, and away we go. Josh Johnson coming back last year. He did make 9 starts after elbow surgery. But he was one of the game's dominant pitchers through 09 and 2010 before he was injured. Was a 15-game winner in 2009. And in 2010 had an ERA of 2.30. He won 11 games. But a season that was cut short due to an injury. Missed most of last year. And finally a full healthy season. That ball hit Aoki. So it caught a piece of Nori Aoki and a base runner to start it for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Josh Johnson used to throw in the upper 90s to go along with a very good breaking ball. They're trying to come inside, just barely got a piece of that elbow pad, and Aoki showing it to Ed Hickox, and he agreed.
Now the Brewers have been scoring runs at an amazing pace here lately during this 16-game stretch, averaging 6.6 runs per game and a 13-3 record. And you might remember during this stretch, one of those losses as Weeks pops this one up in the infield, and just in foul territory, Brandley makes a catch for the out, 1 away. You might remember the Brewers let a game get away against the Cubs. They had a 9-3 lead in a game at Wrigley Field last Thursday. It was a week ago today, and still just one of the 3 losses the Brewers have suffered during the 16-game stretch.
Yeah, everything going very well for Milwaukee for the most part. Offense, pitching, bullpen, defense has been pretty good. Ron Renneke very pleased with the way his team has responded in the last couple of weeks.
Here's Ryan Braun. He gets jammed in a fly ball, shallow right. Stanton is on the run. He's got it for the out. And on 2 pitches, Josh Johnson picks up 2 outs. Aoki's ready to run, but Weeks and Braun not giving him a whole lot of time to get going over there at first base. And here is Corey Hart. Brewers are going to be without Aramis Ramirez today. He will not be available to pinch hit either. Left yesterday's game prior to what would have been his final at bat in the 9th inning. And a little tightness in the oblique or around the back. They're not sure which. I spoke to Ramirez earlier today. He said he'll be fine. He said, I just need a day or 2 maybe. Feels like he caught it early. When you've been around as long as Aramis Ramirez, you kind of sense when things aren't right. And instead of turning it into a season-ending injury, which a torn oblique would be, Ramirez feels like he jumped on it quickly and didn't push it last night, even though, Rock, there was a big RBI opportunity for him in the last inning of last night's game.
Yeah, Jonathan Lucroy had to come in right at the last second to get a pinch hit. Made an out, but it's not the worst thing in the world to give Ramirez a day game after a night game off. And perhaps gets tomorrow off in St. Louis, and then he should be ready to go, or at least the Brewers are hoping that's going to be the case.
So today, Corey Hart hits in the cleanup spot where Ramirez normally bats, and Jeff Bianchi will play third base. Close play. Aoki was leaning. Maybe a better throw from Johnson, and he has an out.
And Josh Johnson, a big guy, takes him a while to get going. That was pretty close. Aoki took a half a step towards second base, almost got picked off.
Well, Hart had a big day yesterday. Hit a booming home run in yesterday's game, and then had a key hit late in the game in that ninth inning to add to the lead. Drove in 4 runs yesterday. And he goes 2-1 on Corey Hart. Powerball home run leaderboard. Corey Hart now at 27 on the season. Brewers hit some shots yesterday. You have to hit them good to hit them out of this ballpark. It is a massive outfield. Pitcher friendly venue here.
He and Ricky Weeks both had 2-run home runs to give the Brewers a nice cushion late in the ball game. Both those home runs came in the 7th. 3 overall, 2 for Ricky yesterday. Seems like it's somebody different every night.
Yeah, the Brewers got home runs from Aoki and Bianchi 2 nights ago on Tuesday night. Milwaukee dropped the opener of this series after they had swept the Pirates. Lost 7-3 here on Monday afternoon on Labor Day, but have come back and have scored 8 runs in each of the last 2 games. Have had double-digit hit totals in each of the last 2 games. Aoki goes. The pitch is low. Throw to second. He's not in time. A stolen base for Nori Aoki. Not a bad throw from Bradley, but Aoki got a great jump. And he swipes his 23rd base of the season.
Well, again, it takes Josh Johnson a while to get rid of it. A little bit of a high throw if you want to nitpick the throw to second base. Brantley gets rid of it in pretty good shape. A little bit high, and that patented Aoki slide.
And Corey Hart draws the walk, so 2 on here in the first inning. Brewers making a little noise to get this game started. Jonathan Lucroy now. The Brewers catcher hitting .322 for the season. A week ago today had a 7 RBI game against the Cubs, his second 7 RBI game of the season. First catcher in Major League history to do that. As Lucroy takes a strike.
And a very good hitter with men in scoring position. As you would imagine, with Johnson being 3-0 against the Brewers in his career, not too many hitters in the Brewers lineup have had a whole lot of success against Johnson. Good numbers across the board against this lineup. That's a pretty good curveball right there.
Two on, 2 out, and an 0-2 count. Lucroy swings and misses. Down he goes. And a sharp slider from Johnson. Inning is over. The Brewers threaten, come up empty. Ian back there having a good time. He always has a good time. The always entertaining Ozzie Guillen, first-year skipper of the Marlins.
He was like that as a player.
And here is Ozzie's batting order today. Brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Brian Peterson, Donovan Solano, Jose Reyes. At the top of the order, Guillen has Giancarlo Stanton, Greg Dobbs, and Justin Ruggiano in the middle, with Rob Bradley, Donnie Murphy, and Josh Johnson rounding it out. Marco Estrada is on the mound today. He's coming off a terrific start in his last time out at Miller Park.
Yeah, he's won 2 straight decisions. That comes in 3 starts. You're right, and no decision his last time out against the Pittsburgh Pirates. 19 starts, second against the Marlins this year. Got a no decision on July 3rd at Miller Park against the Fish. 6 innings, 2 earned runs in the Brewers' 13-12 10-inning win.
And defensively behind Marco Estrada, Braun, Gomez, Aoki in the outfield. But Yankee gets a call at third base today. Segura at short, Weeks at second, and Corey Hart at first, and Jonathan Lucroy will do the catching. Brewers defense courtesy of Menards. Brian Peterson leads off for the Marlins, and the first pitch is ball 1. Peterson making his second consecutive start in this series. He was in the leadoff spot yesterday. Had a couple of hits. He's 2 for 5 in the series with an RBI. Now we saw a terrific start yesterday from Willie Peralta in his very first start in the major leagues. He picked up a win. Brewers were able to hang on to win that game. And that ball is hit high and deep right center. That's got a chance. Aoki is back, and he cannot make the play. It's off the base of the wall. That'll be a leadoff double for Brian Peterson. That is a home run in just about every other ballpark in the big leagues.
Yep, Aoki got there, but mistimed his jump. At least that's what it looked like. A fastball belled high right down the middle, and Peterson gives it a pretty good ride out there. Aoki playing deep. He was able to get there, but it looked like he misjudged the fly ball just a little bit. And a leadoff base runner for the Marlins.
Yeah, he actually overran that deep fly ball. Probably a ball that Aoki should have caught. Instead, it's a leadoff double. And Estrada will face Donovan Solano, who squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball. Solano has started every game in this series at second base. He is 2 for 14. He has a couple of runs batted in. He was a part of a big moment in last night's game. He drove in a run as the Marlins were coming back in the 7th inning. The Brewers had a 6-1 lead going into the bottom of the 7th. Solano had a base hit, and there was a base running mistake that led to the first out of the inning for the Brewers, and then they were able to get out of the inning with the lead and take it to the finish line for the victory yesterday.
Yeah, Marlins ended up having 2 runners at third base with nobody out. Peterson, the man at second base right now, head down, heading to third. The runner Greg Dobbs was held up at the last second, and boy, that was a big break for the Brewers in that inning.
Yeah, the Marlins had put their first 6 batters on base. There's a strike on the outside corner. Estrada coming off 7 strong against the Pirates his last time out. He struck out 10, gave up just 1 earned run. 3-1 pitch, fouled away. 3-2 on Solano.
And Marco's last 3 starts, he's got 5 walks, 27 strikeouts, and he's only allowed 1 earned run. Incredible numbers for Estrada in his last 3. And he's 2-0.
Yeah, for the season, he is averaging more than a strikeout per inning pitched, and he's not what you would consider your prototypical strikeout pitcher. But he has double-digit strikeout games this year 3 times, including the 10 strikeout game against Pittsburgh on Saturday. He can rack them up quickly.
And 12 against the Cincinnati Reds back in June. It's all about the changeup and curveball, and that makes that fastball of his a little bit sneaky fast.
There's a liner back up the middle, a base hit. And Peterson will try to score. Gomez throw to the plate is one hopped, and safe is Peterson. The Marlins come out with back-to-back hits. Solano drives in the run, and the Marlins have the early lead today.
And Marlins getting some pretty good hacks at that Estrada fastball. And Peterson off the wall and right. And then this one right back through the middle, and the fastball down but over the plate. And Peterson with very good speed able to score. Well, the Marlins on top early.
Peterson has great speed, and even though he had to freeze for a moment on the line drive, he was able to score easily. And now Jose Reyes. And he slashes one. That's fair. That's trouble. That's going to get down in the corner. Solano racing around third. He'll try to score, and he will score. And the Marlins come out swinging the bats here today. 2-0 Fish on 3 straight hits to start this game.
A nice piece of hitting by Jose Reyes, taking the fastball away and just, flipping it down the line. Check this out. Not a bad pitch. Top down, and he gets on top of it and hits a line drive bullet down the left field line, and Solano able to score all the way from first base. Well, so Marco Estrada having a tough time locating that fastball so far, although that last one was a pretty good pitch.
Reyes now with 31 doubles to go along with his 11 homers. And here is Giancarlo Stanton. He's swinging away early, fouls it away. Stanton hit a booming home run here 2 days ago. Hit one over the center field fence, which is a long way from home plate. 418 feet. One of the deepest center fields in the league.
It's got that high wall out there to make it even more difficult to hit a home run. Up into the garden out there in center.
And the deepest part of that center field wall is 422 feet back in that corner by the sculpture. Got a lot of distance down the lines. Got to go 344 down the left field line. And the high walls, the power alleys are massive here. The 386 in the left center field alley, 392 in the right center alley. Close play. Reyes just back.
And that throws on the other side of second base. Reyes is out. The Brewers have made this ballpark seem a little bit smaller than it normally has been playing this year. 6 home runs already for the Brewers in the first 3 games.
I had 3 yesterday. Ricky Weeks had 2 in yesterday's game. The most by an opponent here at brand new Marlins Park in a series this year through the first 3 games. Estrada doing all he can to keep Reyes close. He's behind Stanton, 2-1, 2-0 Marlins already. And Stanton lifts this one in the air. Will it stay playable? Hart is out of room in the seats. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, not a lot of foul territory in this ballpark, making it a little bit better for the hitters. Balls that ordinarily be caught end up in the seats and get another swing. We have seen some rockets going into the stands in this series.
Estrada still looking for his first out. 2-2 on Stanton. And a swing and a foul tip right into the mid of Luke Croy. A strikeout.
They got the changeup by him. We saw Willie Peralta in a big spot in yesterday's game get Stanton on a changeup. Here's another one, and well located. A little bit of movement going down and in on the big right-handed hitter. And Estrada gets his first out.
A much needed out at that. So 1 gone. Reyes still at second. And here is Greg Dobbs now. Dobbs gets his first start of the series today. We saw him last night. He's pinch hit in 2 of the games. He stayed in and played third base in last night's game actually committed an error, and that opened up an inning for the Brewers last night. Probably a more comfortable position for Greg Dobbs today at first base. He's in there for Carlos Lee.
He's most comfortable in the batter's box. He's a hitter.
Yeah, you ask what position he plays?
Yeah, I'm a hitter.
He plays hitter.
And he's a good one.
He was part of that big rally for the Marlins last night. Had an infield RBI single in the 4-run 7th inning. Well, a rough start for Marco Estrada today. 2 runs in on 3 hits. 1 gone for Dobbs. Reyes ready to run at second base and an RBI double. And another pickoff attempt and another close play, but Reyes is just back.
Now you know he wants to steal third base. Uniform is already dirty for Reyes. You can see Segura doing a nice job keeping him close, but he's able to get the hand in there. You like the way Segura really jockeys base runners at second base. He's really aware of trying to keep him close.
Well, Reyes, one of the best in the business. He's currently 2nd in the league in steals. He has 34 bags this year. Michael Bourne is the league leader. Bourne has 38. Always has a smile on his face. He plays with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Signed a long-term deal to be a Marlin. That's in the dirt, and Reyes will take third base. So that'll be a wild pitch on Marco Estrada.
And when he's going well, there aren't too many more exciting players in the game than Jose Reyes. He can do a lot to beat you. And most of all, his speed is certainly something you have to be aware of.
Well, his career was in a little bit of jeopardy 2 seasons ago. Had a terrible hamstring injury while he was playing for the Mets. 1-2 on the way. Dobbs fouls it away. Dobbs has a brand new bat. He broke his bat yesterday in the 7th inning in his last at bat. Hitters don't like giving up their bats. You know a guy's going good when you see a beat up bat at the plate. He pops this one foul and out of play.
It sounded like me on an Easter Sunday when I got a brand new bat from the Easter Bunny. Of course, these guys get bats by the dozens, but I get what you're saying. I mean, not many marks on it. You don't have any pine tar. There's a couple of marks on it now.
I always feel like you can tell how good a guy's going at the plate by the wear and tear on his bat.
Right.
And if he's getting a lot of hits and he's not getting jammed, not breaking a bat, then you know he's seeing the ball pretty well.
Usually got a bat or a pair of spikes for Easter.
Is that right?
Had a pair of old Rydell cleats. Remember those? The leather bottom.
That was way before
shoes.
my time.
You don't remember those?
Oh, no.
They were stuck in a Easter basket. Parents had actually the Easter Bunny had a tough time putting the bat in there, but
I didn't know the Easter Bunny was such a baseball fan.
I didn't either.
It's nice of him. Who gets presents for Easter? Dobbs rips that one to right. Aoki stumbles but recovers, and the wild pitch is going to lead to another run. Boy, Dobbs smoked that ball. A line drive out and a sacrifice fly for Greg Dobbs with his brand new bat, and it's 3-0 Marlins.
Yeah, the bat and spikes in lieu of candy. I needed the stuff more than the candy. You get it?
I get it.
Move
it's
on.
Still the case.
Thought it was a good story.
Anytime you can take us down memory lane from your childhood, it's always good.
But it reminded me when you said he's got a brand new bat. That's what I went down the neighborhood saying to everybody, look, I got a brand new bat.
From the Easter Bunny. And he was 15 years old when he did that.
We're like 18.
Where does an Easter Bunny put a brand new bat?
I told you. He leaned it up against the basket.
I mean, how does he, how does he transport such a thing?
Didn't ask that question.
That ball's hit hard. Ruggiano with a base hit. Boy, Estrada not fooling anyone here in the first. Giving up some rockets in this inning.
And every base hit is because of the fastball. Not locating it very well. And Estrada already in this game has given up more earned runs in the first inning than he did in his last 3 starts. Fastball right down the middle, and Ruggiano hammers it. Hits it hard out to Brawny and left.
3 runs are in on 4 hits. Estrada grinding away to try to get through this first inning as Rob Brandley bats. He's pushing a 30-pitch inning here for Estrada. That was pitch number 28. Never want to start a game like this. Not just the runs, but the high-stress pitches. A lot of pitches early. Kind of want to ease your way. There goes the base runner. Lucroy's throw is late and a stolen base. And the Marlins are doing whatever they want right now.
I'll tell you, an advantage of Marco Estrada, just concentrating on trying to put the ball where he wants it. A lot of times you forget about base runners when you're having a tough time out there getting outs.
So Ruggiano singles and steals second. His 12th stolen base of the year. And he's in scoring position for Rob Brandley, who is in a hitter's count at 2-0. Popped him up. Bianchi and Segura. It'll be Bianchi who wants it, and the inning is finally over. The Marlins come out swinging today. 3 runs on 4 hits. Satisfied feeling about him today after his first major league start resulted in a victory. Peralta went 6 innings yesterday. He left the game allowing just 1 run. When it was all said and done, he went 6 innings and 3 earned runs allowed, and a very good jumping off point for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, the most impressive thing for me yesterday with Peralta was his ability to get strike 1. 14 of the first 17 hitters that he faced, he was able to get a first pitch strike. You know, the reports on Peralta in the minor leagues this year, a very explosive live arm, and we saw that. He was cutting the fastball, sinking it, and the slider was very good. But what impressed me is the pitch that he's been working on all year is the changeup. He got some big outs on that changeup last night. He looked good.
Yeah, he struck out Mike Giancarlo Stanton on the changeup. There's a little tapper by Gomez. Johnson fields it, and there is out number one. Now, his fastball last night, Peralta, was topping out at 98, and he was sitting comfortably at 95, 96 miles an hour with sink. I mean, it was something. It had some hiss on it.
The thing was, he just wasn't trying to rear back and throw it as hard as he could. He had good location, good movement on it, throwing it for strikes. And never really seemed like he was in awe of where he was and what he was doing his first big league start. I think maybe what helped him was one relief appearance earlier this year in the big leagues, and the fact that, and we talked about this last night, Martin Maldonado was catching him last night. That was probably a calming influence for him.
Yeah, it was fun to watch those two interact. They've known each other for a long time. They go back to the 08 season together. Maldonado was catching Peralta in A ball and has caught him at every level moving up the Brewers system. You think about Mark Rogers, who's sitting there in front of Maldonado. Mark Rogers, a hard thrower. He's got electric stuff. Willie Peralta, the season that Mike Fiers has had this year. There is reason to be encouraged about the Brewers' young pitching.
Well, you think about, the farm system and all the guys that have come up from down in the minor leagues. Most of the starting rotation for the Brewers right now is out of their minor league system. Guys they've drafted, they've brought along, and that speaks well of the scouting department and player development.
One gone for Jeff Bianchi. 2-2 the count.
Hey fans, Fan Appreciation Night is Saturday, September 29th as the Brewers take on the Houston Astros. Come out to Miller Park for your chance to win fabulous prizes, including a 2013 Chevy Camaro. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for tickets.
Bianchi lines one to right, a base hit. A good piece of hitting on 2 strikes. Bianchi singles to right field. And the first Brewers base hit. Bianchi homered here a couple of days ago, hit his 3rd homer of the season.
It took him a while to get that first hit, but I'll tell you, since that time, he has swung the bat well. Pitch looked like a two-seamer that leaked over the heart of the plate by Johnson, and Bianchi shoots it into right field. Good piece of hitting.
Bianchi started his major league career 0 for his first 15. And now 9 hits. He's 9 for 37 on the season with those 3 home runs.
And that was weighing on him. I mean, for 15, got sent down to the minor leagues. He was going down there and was swinging the bat as well as he was before he got called up. And he kept his head up and kept his confidence, came back, and right now he's swinging it well, as are most of the Brewers right now.
They're going to need some offense today. It's tough against Josh Johnson. Marlins giving Johnson 3 runs in the first inning. Brewers have been averaging 6.6 runs per game over the last 16 during this hot stretch. As Segura takes a strike. Good fastball. Well, Jeff Bianchi in his last 9 games hitting .348. All 3 of his home runs have come in his last 9 games. Good looking player, Bianchi, and a versatile player. A shortstop by trade, getting a start at third base here today as Segura takes a called strike 3. Josh Johnson nails the outside corner and the second out of the inning.
That'd be a 3-pitch strikeout for Josh Johnson. He's getting the fastball up there 91 to 93 miles an hour, before he injured himself. That fastball was in the upper 90s. There's a cutter, slider, whatever you want to call it, right on the corner.
So here's Marco Estrada, the Brewer pitcher, with 2 away. And he goes. Estrada unable to check his swing. Josh Johnson Had shoulder surgery, and that's given him some trouble. He used to throw in the mid to upper 90s. The fastball is not quite back yet. A swing and a miss. Johnson strikes out Estrada. And the Brewers go scoreless in the second despite their first hit. Presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Now this week, the regular season begins with a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Got the Redskins and the Saints, and then in America's Game of the Week, the 49ers take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. That'll be at Lambeau Field. Coverage begins this week with the Built for Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 11 a.m. Central. Marco Estrada hoping for better results here in the second inning. The Marlins scoring 3 runs in the first on 4 hits. 3-0 Miami as we head to the home second. Donnie Murphy leads off. Murphy comes in hitting 194, and he sends one to left. That is a fair ball. Another base hit for the Marlins. That'll be an extra base hit for Murphy, a leadoff double in the second.
And just about every one of his hits in this series have come right down that left field line. And Marco getting pitches up in the zone. The Marlins, every time they swing the bat, seems like it ends up a base hit. The fastball has been his nemesis, but that was a changeup. Changeup to Murphy. See out in front, but able to keep the bat in the hitting zone long enough to just keep it fair. Nice level swing and able to get a leadoff double.
Now the first 8 batters that Estrada has faced, he has given up 5 hits. Josh Johnson up there to bunt. And he bunts right through it. Johnson's a very good hitting pitcher. I remember a game against Milwaukee a couple of years ago when he went the distance and he hit one straight out to center field for a home run. Hasn't done much with the bat this year. He's just 4 for 45 at the plate. And he pulls the bat back, and a bouncer that's off the glove of Weeks, and this is going to bring in another run. Weeks misplayed that one, and Josh Johnson on the old Butcher Boy play.
Brewers need a do-over here. A relatively routine high chopper to Ricky Weeks and off his glove. And I would imagine be an E4, no RBI for Johnson. Shows bunt, pulls it back, puts it on the ground as he should. And just trying to get the runner over to third base, and Ricky not able to handle it. Not a good start here at the ballpark today.
Yeah, that'll be an error on Weeks. So 4-0 Marlins. And the first trip through the batting order, not a good one for Marco Estrada. Back to the top now, Brian Peterson. Peterson hit a long fly ball for a double in the first inning, but really a ball that should have been caught. It was deep into the gap. Aoki went to the wall and leaped up against the wall, but he actually overran the baseball.
You can see how deep Aoki plays out in right. He plays out there for just about everybody. Not all that comfortable going back on the baseball. That's why he plays deep. And because of that, you see a lot of base hits fall in front of Nori and right.
Two on Peterson. Peterson getting a start again today out in left field. Made his first start of the series yesterday. And he just serves that one. Little pop-up easy play for Segura for the first out. Estrada had him fooled, and there's the first out.
And Martin needs to get better command of the off-speed pitches going forward here. Most of the damage has come off the fastball. Hasn't really been able to lock down that curveball. That's an important pitch for him.
Here's Donovan Solano. He had an RBI single in the first inning. There's strike one from Estrada. Solano in his first year in the big leagues. He made his debut in late May. Ball's drilled to right. He's got a good opposite field stroke, Solano. We've seen that a few times in the series.
Yeah, just the kind of guy you want in a number 2 spot, whether it's Reyes leading off. You had Peterson leading off today. You had Gorkis Hernandez the first 2 games of the series. All of them can run, and you like to have a guy in the number 2 hole that makes good contact, hits behind runners, and well executed on the ball away, just serves it out there into right field. Got a nice approach, hitting over 280.
2 more hits in the second inning for the Marlins. They now have 6 hits. Pretty balanced spray chart for Solano. As Jose Reyes takes a ball. Four nothing Miami on 6 hits already. Brewers have committed an error. Not the kind of start they were looking for today. The Brewers riding high after back-to-back wins. Reyes doubled his last time up. He doubled in a run and then scored the 3rd Marlins run.
Well-placed fastball right there, almost identical to the pitch that Reyes shot down the left field line for a double his first time up, although that last one was a bit more down around the knees.
Reyes signed the big deal with the Marlins this offseason. A 6-year deal, over $100 million. It could go to a 7th year. Reyes hit .337 last year for the Mets, won the batting title. Pickoff play at second, and they got him. Johnson caught off the bag. And a base running blunder by the Marlins pitcher on the bases.
Well, the old daylight play. Segura sneaking in behind the pitcher and picked off easily. Yeah, good throw by Estrada, and no chance for Johnson to get back. And once you see daylight between the infielder and the guy taking the lead, you spin around and make a throw to second. In the words of Jim Gandhi, he said, how can you run the daylight play in the night game? I know Jimmy's watching back in Eden.
I'm sure the last thing Ozzie Guillen wanted to see is his starting pitcher sprawling out on the field.
Yeah, head first dive back into the bag, right?
3-2 pitch. Reyes fouls it away. Well, Estrada needed that out. Now 2 gone in the inning. A chance to get out of this second with no further damage. A run is in. Runner goes. 3-2 pitch. Jam shot into center field, and Gomez is there, and the side is retired. But the Marlins get a run. Now 4-0 Miami. Nothing lead as we head to the 3rd inning at beautiful new Marlins Park. Our carsoup.com email the booth question comes from Ryan in Pewaukee, and he wants to know, is chasing 500 more important than the wild card race right now? I would say that is what is next.
Well, I mean, if you're not at 500, there is no wild card chase. I mean, in all honesty, right? And the Brewers have put themselves in a pretty good position by playing very good baseball.
Nori Aoki drives one in the gap in right center. That's going to roll to the wall. Aoki on his way to third. And it'll be a leadoff triple for the Brewers. Good start to the 3rd inning as Aoki, who was hit by a pitch his last time up, triples to start the 3rd inning.
Now, with the way the Brewers offense has been going lately, 4 runs, not much to overcome, although Josh Johnson's been pretty good lately. And good start to the 3rd inning for Aoki, driving that ball into the gap. That's an example of what we've been talking about, this grass in the outfield. Ball just continues, just scoots out to the wall. It just never seems to want to stop. That ball in the gap, and Aoki able to get to third base without a throw.
So Aoki at third base for Ricky Weeks.
And talking about the wild card chase and getting back to 500, the next two series for the Brewers after today going to be pivotal. You're talking about two teams that right now hold the wild card, both of them, Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. If you hope to get back into that chase or even being in the discussion, you've got to do well against those two teams.
Yeah, the Braves lead the wild card picture right now. They have a 3-game cushion. They are +3 in the wild card standings. St. Louis occupies the second wild card spot. Remember, 2 wild card teams this year. And then the Pirates are a game and a half back. Then the Dodgers. And the Diamondbacks and the Brewers 6.5 back. So
you got to hop over 4 teams, which makes that a lot more difficult. 6.5 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're behind 4 teams to get that second spot, it makes it much more difficult.
Going to have a lot of help, and the Brewers are just going to have to continue to win games at this pace, which is a lot to ask for from a ball club. They've already won 13 of their last 16 just to get to this position.
It makes it difficult, but certainly not impossible the way the Brewers have been playing. But after this series, the Brewers play 19 games, and 16 of those games are against teams that are in contention.
A series with the Cardinals next, then the Braves at Miller Park, at the Nationals, the Pirates on the list. 2-2 to Weeks, and down he goes. That's the last thing the Brewers needed, a strikeout. Aoki has to stay put. Weeks strikes out with Braun coming up. Here's what's coming up for the Brewers after today's day game in Miami. A 3-game series against St. Louis, and then the Braves and the Mets on the next homestand. Then it's off to Pittsburgh, and that'll be a 3-city road trip for the Brewers, and that will be the final road trip of the year for Milwaukee, going to Pittsburgh, Washington, and Cincinnati, the division leaders in the Central.
Yeah, but then you have 6 games at home to end the season against Houston and San Diego. Times are running out in the season.
Stay focused on what's next, and what's next for the Brewers is 500. And then the Pirates. Ball and a strike on Braun. Brewers got a leadoff triple. Trying to cash a run in here as Braun sends one in the air to center field. Plenty deep to score the run. That'll be the second out. And it'll be a sacrifice fly. Ryan Braun now 99 runs batted in. Makes it 4-1 Marlins.
And a pretty good pitch by Josh Johnson. That's how good of a hitter Ryan is. Able to stick his bat out on that breaking ball and hit it deep enough into center field. So the leadoff triple comes around and gets the goose egg off the Brewers line today.
And here is Corey Hart now. I misspoke about Josh Johnson. I apologize, but he did not have surgery last year. He had a shoulder injury, but instead he chose to rehab that injury. Did not start a game after May 16th last season. And while there was a lot of speculation that surgery was necessary, and you remember Adam Wainwright was injured as well, had Tommy John surgery. Josh Johnson, Johan Santana was trying to come back from surgery as well. Those were the 3 big names, but Johnson did not choose to go through with the surgery. He went with a different method, and pretty extensive rehab and strengthening process to get his shoulder back together. He's been out there just about every 5th day this year as he strikes out Corey Hart. 5 strikeouts for Josh Johnson, but the Brewers finally score. 4-1 Marlins head to the bottom of the 3rd. To the bottom of the third, and a reminder that this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the playoff push continues as the Royals head to Chicago to take on the American League Central Division leading White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by MasterCard, and it begins at 2:30 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Giancarlo Stanton leads off for Miami. And Estrada in need of a clean inning here. He's given up runs in each of his first 2 frames. A 3-run first inning on 4 hits. Gave up a run on 2 hits, and there was an error in the second inning. Stanton with 30 home runs this season. Not a big home run hitting team, but they might have the best home run hitter in the league as Stanton goes down swinging. Estrada strikes him out for the second time. Well, our social media question today for you. I'd love to hear from you on Twitter. At FS Wisconsin is our Twitter handle, and the hashtag playoff push today with the Brewers on a 13-3 run. Which phase of the game has been most important and why? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you today. Well, Estrada has given up 6 hits, but he has struck out Giancarlo Stanton twice for his only 2 strikeouts thus far.
And you talk about maybe the best home run hitter in the league. I mean, if you're talking about just raw power and a guy that can just flat hit the ball further than anybody, you might be right about Stanton. And he's still young and still going to learn. He's still learning at this level. Strikes out an awful lot, but well, when he gets a hold of one, he can indeed hit him as far as anybody.
You just wonder how many home runs he would have if he played his home games elsewhere in this big ballpark.
He has hit some monumental blasts even in this place.
Just 22 years of age. He turns 23 in November, and he already has 86 career home runs. He is inside the top 10 all time in home runs before the age of 23. He's currently tied with the great Double X Jimmy Fox for 8th most home runs before the age of 23. Two pitch. Dobbs pulls it foul.
8th most?
8th most home runs before the age of 23. And he still has some season remaining.
Wow.
Ken Griffey Jr. would be next on that list. He and Johnny Bench with 87 home runs before their 23 year season. Broken bat. Estrada makes the play, and Dobbs is retired, and Greg Dobbs' Easter bat is long gone now.
And he's going to have a new bat next time.
They're going to have another new bat, Rock. That's a shame.
It's just the way you said it. It's just kind of brought back memories for me.
It's a shame to see a brand new bat go down like this.
Yeah, right off the end, and see you later. Splits right down the middle, and that new bat not new any longer. Firewood.
Ruggiano takes a strike. Ruggiano had a single his last time up. Had a stolen base. There's a little purpose behind these fastballs from Estrada now. He's much better location than the first couple of innings. Quickly 0-2 on Ruggiano. If you're wondering who has the most home runs before age 23, that would be Mel Ott, the New York Giants.
Eddie Matthews on that list.
He sure is. He is second on that list.
I found the list. That's why I knew that.
Oh, that was a nice little tee up right there. Nice. I thought you just remembered that Eddie Matthews had a lot of home runs early in his career.
He did, huh?
Mel Ott, Eddie Matthews, Tony Canigliaro, A-Rod, Frank Robinson, Johnny Bench, Ken Griffey Jr., Jimmy Fox, and Giancarlo Stanton. That's pretty good company to be in.
Yes.
1-2. In the air to left. Braun is right there, and a 1-2-3 inning for Marco Estrada. He needed that one. 4-1. The Marlins lead it. We head to the fourth.
A rough start to the day for Marco Estrada. Give up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. RBI singles by Solano and Reyes, and then Greg Dodds with a sac fly. 3-0 Fish. And then Murphy scores on an error. And Donnie Murphy scored after a leadoff double. There's the error off the glove of Ricky Weeks, and it was 4-0 until Ryan Braun drives in his 99th run of the year after a leadoff triple by Noriaoki as we head to the 4th inning. 4-1 Marlins.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off against Josh Johnson. Lucroy struck out his first time up. Johnson made quick work of him. And he lines one right to Solano. He hit that right on the nose, but right at the Marlins second baseman for the first out.
They've had him played perfectly, shaded up the middle, and Solano barely had to move.
And now Carlos Gomez. Gomez bounced back to the mound his first time up. That one's into center field. Easy play. Ruggiano socks it away for the second out, and 2 quick outs for Josh Johnson in the 4th. Check our AT&T trivia today from Miami. Which 2 teams played in Super Bowl II? Played at the Orange Bowl, where Marlins Park is presently located. So this is the site of the Orange Bowl. And did you notice, Rock, when we drove in today? Pretty interesting. It's the Yankee fouls one away. You remember the signage of the Orange Bowl, the block letters and Orange Bowl? Well, they didn't want to get rid of that, so they turned it into an interesting piece of art out in front of the stadium, where they've placed the letters not in a row where it spells out Orange Bowl, just kind of randomly throughout the like the pavilion area, and it's almost like a sculpture, like a statue, where these random letters are just sprinkled in all over the place.
They're into artwork here, aren't they?
It looks like somebody dropped the letters off the roof, but I think that was the effect.
A little bit of nostalgia here in Miami.
I thought it was very cool, and I was wondering why these. It looks like a construction project. But then when you get what they're trying to do, then it's a nice piece of art.
Right.
Conversation piece. And there are a few of them in this ballpark.
Come to the ballpark and you just kind of try and find all the letters that spell out Orange Bowl.
Yeah, Joe Block was asking me where the M is.
There's the O.
Yeah, there's the O. It's nice.
One of the O's.
So Joe Block says, I don't understand where they got an M. Is that from the Marlins or Orange Bowl?
A W, you mean?
It's a W. I mean, he was really taking the artistic presentation to another level with the upside down W, thinking
Joe.
it was an M.
Good old Joe.
Slow roller to Reyes. And the Yankee is retired. A scoop by Dobbs and a 3-3 down inning for Josh Johnson.
The Marlins lead the Brewers by 3. Let's check in with the crew and the community. Brewers on Deck is coming back to the Frontier Airlines Center on Sunday, January 27th. Tickets go on sale Wednesday, September 12th. See your favorite Brewers players, get autographs, and enjoy all of the activities in the Brewers annual Winter Fan Fest. To get tickets, visit brewers.com/on-deck. Brian.
All right, thanks, Telly. 4-1 Marlins. They scored 3 in the first, got a run in the second. Estrada coming off a 3-up, 3-down third inning, and we'll see if he can keep it going here. Facing Rob Brantley, the young catcher of the Marlins. He's been impressive this series. Done a nice job behind the plate. He's got some hits.
Yeah, he's got a good idea what he wants to do up there. He really does. Has a good approach at the plate. Seems like he calls a pretty good game. You don't see a lot of shaking off by these Marlins pitchers. 22, very young to be in the big leagues behind home plate. Maybe the toughest spot to be when you're that young.
Now you think about Jonathan Lucroy when he first arrived to the big leagues as a 24-year-old. And the growing pains he went through as Brantley swings and misses. Marco Estrada starting to dial it in a little bit here. That's his third strikeout.
Good changeup. Trying to get the off-speed pitches working for him.
Check our AT&T trivia. The question was, which two teams played in Super Bowl II, played at the Orange Bowl, where Marlins Park is presently located. And, of course, the Green Bay Packers and the Oakland Raiders. Packers won 1968. That would be a Brian Mikulášek special. He didn't even have to go to a book for that one. That came right out of his bean. The Orange Bowl.
With an M.
The Bommel. BOML.
I think Joe was just pulling your leg.
Yeah. Well, sure he was. I hope he was. Because he's a pretty with it guy, and he's on top of things.
Ordinarily.
On most nights. Swing and a miss. Donnie Murphy down in the count. There's Joe Block. Got a good shine going today.
Joe had a good time here in Miami.
We were reminiscing about some of the Orange Bowl days. Joe Block been there many times. The Miami Orange Bowl, some legendary football played here, and of course the Dolphins, the Hurricanes, those great Miami teams, University of Miami teams in the 90s. Don Shula's Miami Dolphins. It's pretty cool. Satchel Paige pitched here. And those are the letters. There's an M. That wasn't the M Joe was talking about. High fly ball. Gomez under it for the second out of the inning.
And they say there's never been a baseball that has hit off the beams here on the roof, but that came pretty close. Pretty good ways up.
The roof opens up. The entire roof slides off the top, and so when the roof is open, and we've seen it here every afternoon, it does give the feel of an open air ballpark. You don't really even see the roof because it slides all the way out on the other side of the stadium.
Beyond the grandstands along the first baseline. You get here in the morning like we did today, the roof open, the sun beating in here. It is awfully hot. And then they close it up. It takes about a half an hour for it to cool off nicely.
It's amazing how fast they can cool it off, though. This is a state-of-the-art building. And it is a spectacle. I really enjoy it. I think it's very unique to Miami, and it certainly brings out a lot of what Miami is all about, the bright colors, the fish.
Able to get day games here in Miami. Didn't used to be able to do that.
Right.
Very often. At least they did, didn't after May.
Marco Estrada strikes out Johnson, and another 3 up, 3 down inning. There they are. It's an upside down W right there.
A 4-1 lead over the Brewers here today, and that brings us to our Tyrant of the Game winner, the Fairview Sports Bar in Jefferson. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Brewers coming up in the 5th inning. Plenty of seats available today at Marlins Park. A lot of Brewers fans here as well. Did you see the newlyweds down by the Brewers dugout? That's a nice way to
with the mouse ears
spend a day. Yeah, maybe a trip to Disney prior to their stop here for the Brew Crew. There they are. Congratulations. I'm assuming they're married to each other. Segura sends one to center field. Ruggiano eases back. And there's the first out of the 5th inning.
If they're not married to each other, I imagine they don't want to be on television.
So he's got the groom's ears going, the Mickey ears. She's got the bride's ears, Rock.
Thanks, man. I was confused. That was good. You're full service today.
They're not talking to each other much, so now you know they're married. Great seats in the front row. Estrada rolls one over to second. Solano is there, and there is out number 2. At any rate, our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Josh Johnson at 93, topping out. Marco Estrada 91.
You're going to hear about that when you get home? That last comment? I know the family's watching.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You might have gotten yourself in a bit of trouble there. I'm just saying.
I'm just listening. Bill Schroeder doing all the talking.
Even I wouldn't have said that. Even me.
Aoki takes a ball. Yeah, maybe I should retract a few things.
We've got time.
Aoki scored the lone Brewers run. He tripled in the 3rd inning. Takes a strike. Well, Aoki trying to push his way through here. He is in uncharted territory with games played and travel, coming over from Japan, his first year in the big leagues. As he bounces one over to Dobbs, easy enough, and Josh Johnson, a 3-up, 3-down inning. He's retired 9 in a row. And here they come. You're on TV. You guys should talk to each other more. Marco Estrada back to work. The Brewers trail the Marlins 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning from Marlins Park. On a quiet afternoon here in Miami. There's a strike to Ruggiano, or rather Peterson. Top of the order for the Fish: Peterson, Solano, and Reyes. Estrada has retired 7 in a row and 8 of his last 9 after a very shaky start, but he's been able to command much better in the last 3 innings. He did give up a run in the second. It was an error in that inning.
And first 11 batters, 4 runs and 6 hits, and he's turned things around nicely since.
Marlins got 3 runs in the first on 4 hits. And RBIs from Solano and Reyes. A sac fly from Greg Dobbs. We'll see if the Brewers can stay hot with the bats. It's tough against a guy like Josh Johnson. Johnson doesn't have that big fastball like he used to, but he's still a very accomplished pitcher. 0-2. Peterson sends it into the seats, a foul ball.
Yeah, Johnson's really only had 1 bad outing in his last 8 starts. He gave up 6 runs in 3 innings against the Dodgers in LA in an 11-7 loss. Other than that, we talked about he's lost 4 in a row, but he's pitched well, particularly his last time out. So yeah, runs are going to be tough to come by against Johnson here today.
In the air, shallow right center. That's going to fall. Little jam shot that drops for a base hit for Brian Peterson, his 2nd hit of the game.
The Crew is set to take on the New York Mets next Friday through Sunday at Miller Park. Good seats are still available. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com today.
A man on for Solano, who has 2 hits against Estrada today. The Marlins now with 7 hits through the first 4+ innings. Runner goes. Lucroy's throw. And another steal.
And another good throw by Lucroy, but Peterson able to beat it. Had a good jump on Marco. Pretty good lead. Terrific jump and a pretty good throw by Lucroy, but too late.
Well, the Marlins knocking at the door again. A runner at second base. And Solano into deep center. Gomez backing up. Peterson's going to tag. So the first out, but it's a productive out as it advances Peterson to third, and the Marlins with a runner 90 feet away with just 1 out, and the heart of their order coming up. Reyes today has a double and an RBI, and he flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. Estrada trying to stop the bleeding here. Reyes fouls one back. Brewers have their infield in, knowing how important that run at third is.
Not been on the grass because of the speed of Peterson. Guy that didn't run as well. They'd be back a little bit, being able to cover more ground, but Brewers are hoping that Reyes hits it right at one of them.
Popped him up, foul territory. Bianchi gives it a look at the retaining wall, makes the catch. What a play, Jeff Bianchi, starting at third base for the injured Aramis Ramirez, and looks like he's played the position his whole life. That was a terrific play. Out number 2.
And over there, got to the railing and the wall and knew exactly where he was. Our Pizza Hut delivery of the game. And then check him out. He kind of runs right into that padding right there. And well done. You see the fan trying to knock the ball away, but not to be. That's a big out for Marco Estrada.
And Reyes lets an RBI opportunity go by. So 2 gone. Here is Giancarlo Stanton. And a big swing and a foul tip. Jeff Bianchi making his first start as a Brewer at third base. Said he played mostly second base last year as he was coming back from Tommy John surgery. He was playing in the Royals organization. Mostly at shortstop in the Brewers minor leagues this year. But he can do it all, and he's a guy you could certainly put in the outfield if you needed to. He's a versatile, athletic player. And he is making quite a name for himself, making a serious impression with his manager and his coaches.
If nothing else, going into next year, perhaps being a utility player, a guy that can play all over. He's certainly got enough arm to be able to play third base, particularly where he's playing right now, way behind that bag with Stanton at the plate.
Now, Bianchi is also the emergency catcher. The equipment hanging up on the wall in the dugout, Maldonado and Lucroy, and then equipment for number 14. And I walked by there the other day and I said, and it's brand new. It's never been used.
So he's been fitted for it then, huh?
He has.
So he knows actually that he's in the emergency catch.
He does. There's a helmet with his number on it.
Some guys don't know that,
They'll just let him know on a need-to-know basis
right.
where they have to actually go do it.
Don't want to get him thinking about it. Because that's not a position for the faint of heart.
That's a man's position.
You were a catcher, you know that.
The tools of brilliance. There's a swing and a miss, and Estrada strikes out Stanton again. And the frustration starting to show as Marco Estrada has struck out Mike Stanton 3 times, all on changeups. Marlins Park in Miami in the final game of this series. Final trip for the Brewers into Miami this season. Headed to St. Louis tonight, starting a 3-game series with the Cardinals tomorrow. Josh Johnson back to work. He's been good. He's given up just 2 hits. The only run was plated by Braun on a sac fly after Aoki had tripled to start the inning. That was back in the 3rd. Brewers need some offense. They are trailing 4-1. Playing the top of the 6th inning. Ricky Weeks, who hit 2 homers yesterday, tied a career best with 4 runs batted in. He's 0 for 2 today. Weeks hit 2 rockets yesterday and hit both of those home runs into the Clevelander Club in left field. And there was no shortage of volunteers to try to go retrieve that baseball yesterday out of the Clevelander Club. Kind of a cool way to watch a game. Weeks lines one to right, but Stanton fighting the lights, able to make the catch for the out. Well, that could have been trouble if that gets by him. Weeks might have had a chance to score. Instead, it is out number 1.
Make it right on the nose, but a good job of sticking with it by Giancarlo Stanton to be able to make the catch, trying to angle himself away from that bank of lights. Appreciated by Josh Johnson.
So here is Braun, who is sitting on 99 runs batted in, and he drops a bunt down. It's a beauty. No chance here. Ryan Braun bunts for a single. He can beat you in so many ways, and with the third baseman Donnie Murphy playing so deep at third base, Ryan Braun drops down a successful bunt. And we'll see if Braun is on the move here. The Brewers trail by 3.
Just trying to get base runners, and even Ryan Braun the ability to drop down that bunt, his first hit.
Here is Corey Hart. Hart hit number 27 yesterday, and the Brewers are a swing away from pulling within a run on a day when Aramis Ramirez is not available, out with a back injury, maybe oblique perhaps, they're not sure which, and on his back left side of his lower back. So Hart moves into the cleanup spot. Brewers have hit 6 home runs in this series. Johnson's not a guy that gives up many, though.
He's only given up 12 home runs all season long, and you talk about a matchup of a pitcher that has not given up many against a team that has hit more than any team in the National League. Something's got to give.
Two balls and a strike on Hart, and a check on Braun. Ryan Braun has 22 stolen bases this year. He's only been caught 6 times. Got to know you're going to make it if you're trying to steal down 3 runs, but you could put a little pressure on the Marlins here. Takes him out of double play depth. There he goes, and a swing and a miss. Throw to second, and Braun is in there. His 23rd stolen base of the season. A swing and a miss from Hart evens the count at 2-2, but now Hart has a base runner in scoring position.
Yeah, second stolen base for the Brewers. Now it gives them 124 on the season. And that's 3rd in the league. The Marlins lead all of baseball in stolen bases with 132. Number 23 for Braun.
Now Braun has a chance to steal 30 this season to go along with his big home run campaign. He's already established a career high. He's tied a career best with 37 home runs. He stole 33 bases last year, a career best. Hart lays off a tough 3-2 pitch, and now the tying run will come to the plate. 2 on with 1 out, and the Brewers' biggest threat of the day so far. It's an excellent at bat by Corey Hart.
Yeah, you're right. That pitch didn't miss by much. Just missed that outside corner. And now the tying run walks the home plate. Well, we'll see what happens now.
So here is Lucroy, 2 on, 1 out. Brewers down 3. Lucroy hit one sharply his last time up. He lined out to Danny Solano at second base after Johnson had struck him out in the first inning. Lucroy has the best batting average with runners in scoring position this year for the Brewers. Obviously, the Marlins don't think Lucroy can turn on the Josh Johnson fastball. They are pinching the alleys on Lucroy. Look how much space Peterson is giving Lucroy down the line.
Well, knowing the kind of hitter he is, not figuring that he's going to pull the baseball. Jonathan more of an up the middle and right center type hitter. They give Lucroy maybe a breaking ball up in the strike zone. He can hit it down that left field line, but ordinarily he's not looking to pull the baseball, and the Marlins know it. They're swung around toward right, not very deep.
A lot of space out there in the outfield at Marlins Park. 0-2 the count. And a good block by Brantley. That's what we're talking about with Rob Brantley. I mean, that's not an easy pitch to block. And he keeps runners at first and second. That could be an inning changer right there.
Got the glove up. It luckily found the mitt. Watch the glove stay upstairs. A lot of times that ball will skip, go right between the legs, but Brantley doing a nice job keeping it close.
Keeps the Marlins with a double play opportunity still. Brewers need a big hit. They have 3 hits so far. The Yankee, Aoki, and Ryan Braun. Braun's was a bunt single earlier in this inning. He's at second. Corey Hart at first. And Lucroy strikes out. So Johnson goes with a breaking ball, and he punches out Jonathan Lucroy. That's strikeout number 6.
Well, Johnson able to get ahead. That was probably the best pitch for Lucroy to hit in that sequence. Yeah, 2-seamer in off the plate. And then it was a battle for Lucroy. A good block by Brantley, and then another slider. And Lucroy can't hold up.
And now it's Gomez with 2 away. That ball's hit in the air to center field, playable for Ruggiano, and Johnson pitches out of trouble. The Brewers lead 2, still trail 4-1. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time.
Bottom of the fourth here in Miami. The Marlins lead the Brewers 4-1 in the bottom of the sixth inning. And I'm joined by the newlywed couple that has received a lot of text messages because we got them on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And Glenn and Rachel, newlyweds, what better way to spend your honeymoon than in Miami watching the Brewers play?
Yeah, it'd be a little bit better if the game was better than 4-1, but it's been a great trip so far.
Well, Glenn and Rachel Deutschendorf, it took me many minutes to practice that last name. They've been married 12 days, and have you figured out to spell your last name yet?
I have. I've been practicing for a while.
And I also got to show this sign before we get it back to you, Brian and Bill. Everything's checked off. Just married, honeymoon to Florida, get on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Now we got to check the last one. So we'll see if we can do that by the end of the ball game.
All right, you can add one on TV with Telly Hughes. That's a significant accomplishment in any marriage. Very nice. Good to have him here.
Yeah.
Livan Hernandez, the new Brewer pitcher, taking over for Marco Estrada as Greg Dobbs sends one to right. Aoki is there. Line drive out for the first out. See the numbers on Livan Hernandez this year.
Well, Livan has been pitching somewhat frequently for the Brewers as of late. 40th appearance overall. And Livan has made 21 appearances out of the bullpen for the Brewers. He's 3-0.
Livan started the year with the Braves. Bouncing ball to third, but Yankee backing up, and a long throw in time. Ruggiano retired. 2 gone. Livan lives here in Miami, not too far from the ballpark, and was a Marlin, a great Marlin, one of the legends in Marlins franchise history. World Series MVP in '97, the first Marlins World Series title. Hard to believe this team has won 2 World Series championships, 97 and 03, despite never winning a division. Both times they won the World Series, they were the wild card team in the National League. Jim Leyland did it the first time around.
Yeah, they win a World Series and then they dismantle the ball club.
That's been the way it's gone here.
Yeah.
Under 2 different owners. 2003 was Jeffrey Loria's World Series ball club, the owner of the Marlins. Well, they had a good team that year, and Alex Gonzalez was on that club. Alex now with the Brewers. Josh Beckett was the World Series MVP for the Marlins in '03. Two balls and a strike on Bradley. Now goes 3-1. Hope you had a chance to join us for our Brewers Live pregame show. Alex Gonzalez joined Telly Hughes. And he certainly is hoping to come back. He's been taking ground balls after ACL surgery. Bradley shoots one in the gap. Gomez able to cut it off. Bradley on his way to second with a double. Good piece of hitting there, and the Marlins have a man on with 2 away.
Another good approach by Rob Brantley. Pitch trying to get away from. It was up a little bit more than Hernandez was hoping, but it was on the corner, and Brantley just shoots it out there in the gap. Watch that ball skip off that short grass. And in with a 2-out double.
Bradley's been impressive in his first year in the big leagues, getting his first real significant playing time in the major leagues. Coming over to the Marlins from the Tigers as part of that Omar Infante deal. Swing and a miss. Murphy way out in front. 65-mile-an-hour curveball from Hernandez. 0-2 the count. Some great memories here with the Marlins for Hernandez in that World Series season. Burst onto the scene as a rookie that year. 1-2 pitch, and that one's down and away. Hernandez defected from Cuba here to Miami, signed with the Marlins, blew right through their minor league system. He was actually in the big leagues the year before, briefly, in '96. And then started what has been a successful career in 1997. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Hernandez strikes out Donnie Murphy, and the inning is over. 6 in the books at Marlins Park. The Brewers down 3. Summary brought to you by Toyota. The Marlins jump starting quickly today. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the first inning off Marco Estrada. Out to a fast start. Dobbs had a sac fly. There were RBIs from Reyes and Solano and Dobbs. There's a miscue in the second inning, an error that led to the 4th Marlins run. The Brewers got their run in the 3rd inning. A sac fly from Ryan Braun. Nori Aoki had tripled to start that inning. Braun sitting on 99 ribbies. The only tally so far for Milwaukee. We go to the 7th. Josh Johnson and the Marlins lead at 4-1. Johnson's given up just 3 hits. One of those a bunt single by Braun. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts thus far. And he pitched out of a jam last inning with 2 on and just 1 out. Jeff Bianchi leads the way for the Brew Crew. He has one of the 3 hits. Bianchi singled to right in the 2nd inning, making his first start at 3rd base in his big league career.
It just seems like he's feeling more and more comfortable every time he gets up there at the plate for Milwaukee. It looks good, staying back, taking pitches.
That misses low. Bianchi starts the inning with a walk. Starting to see a few more base runners here recently. 2 on last inning. And now a leadoff base runner here in the 7th. Packers wide receiver Greg Jennings will be a free agent next season and talked about his future with the Packers on Wednesday. You can read Paul Emick's story and the rest of his Packers coverage at foxsportswisconsin.com. Gene Segura now. Josh Johnson at one point had retired 9 in a row. And then a hit and a walk. last inning with 1 out. Braun had the bunt single, and then Corey Hart walked, but Johnson finished the inning cleanly, struck out Lucroy, got Gomez to fly out. He's been tough. He's had a very good breaking ball today.
Yes, he has. He's got both the curve and the slider working for him today.
Segura rips one to center field. Bianchi on his way to third. And the two rookies coming up with big hits. Bianchi and Segura start the 7th inning with singles.
Yep, and it was a slider that Segura was able to wait back on and hit it hard up the middle. Looked as though he was looking for that pitch because it wasn't a bad one. Outer half down a little bit, and Segura able to take it right back through the middle. Actually down the middle, but down, and taking advantage of a pitch that got a little bit too much of the plate.
So the two rookie shortstops, Bianchi and Segura. Bianchi starting at third with singles here today. Bianchi walked to start this inning. He's at third base. And Segura is at first for Travis Ishikawa, pinch hitting. Ishikawa in 3 pinch hit appearances in this series is 0 for 3. Looks like Brandon Kinsler getting loose. Brandon pitched on Monday. His return to the big leagues.
And a lot of arms down in that bullpen for Ron Renicky right now with those September call-ups.
First and third, nobody out. Ishikawa at the plate, and a fastball missed. 2-0 on Ishikawa. .238 hitter off the bench this year. He does have 6 runs batted in. He is 10 for 42 off the bench, 10 hits, 6 of those RBIs of his 19 for the year.
Can't see if there's anybody getting loose, but it doesn't appear that anybody's warming up in that Marlins bullpen. All quiet. That's a surprise. Ozzie Guillen's had a pretty quick hook in this series.
Gonna stick with his horse. There's ball 3. And that springs the Marlins bullpen into action. The next pitch will be number 90 for Johnson, pitching in the 7th inning. We'll see if Ishikawa has the green light here. He represents the tying run. And he takes a strike.
And one of the reasons he's hesitant is because the Brewers have unloaded on the Marlins bullpen in this series. At least the last couple of days.
The Yankees started the inning with a walk. Segura singled. The Yankee and Segura with hits in this game, 2 of the 4 hits against Johnson. Ishikawa in the driver's seat at the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Segura goes. A strike called. No throw from Bradley. And a stolen base for Gene Segura. A big part of his game. Had a 50 stolen base season in the minor leagues a couple of years ago. And he swiped second base, and now a base hit. The Brewers will pull within a run.
Yeah, Josh Johnson makes it very difficult on catchers because he takes a while to get rid of it. And Brewers 3 for 3 today.
Full count to Ishikawa. And he chased one in the dirt. Looked at ball 4. Ishikawa swung over the top of that slider from Johnson. That's a big out for Josh Johnson.
Ishikawa is sitting dead red fastball. That not even close, and it just swings right over the top of it. That is a big out.
Yeah, Randy St. Clair on his way out. The Marlins pitching coach, a quick trip to the mound. Brewers are headed back to the top of their order. Johnson with one away. Brewers stranded 2 last inning. Nori Aoki at the plate, presented by Wendy's. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, and then he whacked a triple into right center in the third. He scored the only Brewer run so far. He's 1 for 2. Take you back to the third inning. Aoki, who has showed some power in this series, he just hammered one into the gap in right center.
And he's hit for the cycle in this series. Home run, triple, double, single. And one of the few that he's pulled in this series, other than that home run a couple of days ago.
Ball and 2 strikes on Aoki. That slider is just such an equalizer for right-handers or left-handers. He's gotten some big strikeouts today, Johnson. Remember, he struck out Weeks with that breaking ball in the third inning with a runner at third, and then he just struck out Ishikawa. Yeah, Milwaukee has some speed on the bases. See if Aoki can get him on the move. One gone, the 1-2 pitch, and Aoki fouls it away.
Seems like he's got 2 different breaking balls working for him today. He's got the breaking ball that looks more like a curve ball. Then he's got the slider to the pitch that was able to get Ishikawa on the strikeout.
Aoki hit a home run here on Tuesday. He hit a bomb into the Brewers bullpen in right. Slaps that one into left field. This will be deep enough to score a run. Bianchi's going to tag and score. Johnson will gladly take the out. Out number 2. It is now 4-2 Miami as Aoki drives in a run with a sac fly.
That's a nice at bat for Aoki. He was down in a count. They didn't try and pull it and hit it deep enough to score the run. So the Brewers starting to peck away on Josh Johnson. Single runs in the third and now the 7th. And now the tying run comes to the plate once again.
And it'll be Ricky Weeks. He hit a sharp line drive in the 6th inning. It was caught in right field, hit it right at Giancarlo Stanton. 0 for 3 today after he popped 2 home runs yesterday. Now has 16 on the year. Right off the end of the bat. And that is going to do it. The Brewers get one, but they strand one. It's 4-2 Marlins. To the bottom of the 7th we go.
To pay off our pulse of social media, we asked you on our Twitter account today, with the Brewers on a 13-3 run right now, what's been the most important part of their game, pitching, hitting, or defense? And we got some good responses, starting with pitching first. Having our bullpen locked in has helped us keep our leads throughout the game. Next, Brewers hitting has been solid top to bottom, giving the pitchers the support they need. And finally, near the top of the NL in team home runs and RBIs and extra base hits, hitting has covered the Brewers' other weaknesses. There's no doubt about it, guys. The hitting for Milwaukee, their offense, almost second to none right now in baseball.
Yeah, you could certainly say the Brewers on the best run offensively in baseball right now during this stretch of games. They're averaging over 6.5 runs per game during this 13-3 stretch. Offense has been shut down a little bit today. Just 2 runs on 4 hits. Josh Johnson pitching well. Brandon Kintzler out of the Brewers bullpen trying to keep the Marlins at 4. And Johnson will be taken out. A pinch hitter, Austin Kearns, will bat. So the Brewers won't see any more of Josh Johnson. 7 strong innings in this game from the big right-hander.
Yeah, he looked good. Back-to-back starts. Josh Johnson has pitched well. Brandon Kintzler, his second appearance, he pitched a scoreless 7th inning on Monday against these Marlins. Gave up a hit. 8 games down in the minor leagues, a 154 earned run average.
Sound like a broken bat. Bouncer over to Bianchi. Well, he looks like a third baseman. Making his first start in the big leagues at that position. And out number 1 as Kearns is retired. It's been a long road back for Kintzler, and he's had a roller coaster ride in his career. Well, he burst onto the scene with the Brewers. He actually was out of affiliated baseball. He had to pitch his way back to affiliated ball, meaning a team in the minor leagues that has a major league affiliate, through the independent league route. And he did it all. He was part of the front office and just trying to explore all facets of the game. He wasn't sure what his baseball career was gonna be like. Well, anyway, he found some velocity on his fastball. Bouncer right back to the mound. Peterson is retired. 2 up and 2 down for Brandon Kintzler. So he goes from the independent leagues to the affiliated leagues with the Brewers, and then he makes it to the big leagues, and he was impressive. Well, then he started to have some tingling in his fingers, and he wasn't quite sure what it was. And just a couple of bouts with an elbow injury. They thought it might be something with his shoulder or maybe an impingement, but turns out he had some nerve damage and had to have a surgery to relieve that nerve. I believe they call it compartment syndrome, and it's when those nerves get blocked off. And you can imagine, for a pitcher who cannot feel his fingers on his pitching hand, I mean, that's a career ender.
No doubt. It's always been a matter of Kintzler being able to stay healthy, be out on the mound, because he's got great stuff. Even through all the injuries, he's been able to maintain the stuff on his pitches.
There's a line drive, right center. Solano with a base hit. He's thinking about 2, and he'll wisely hold up. Aoki got a good throw off in right field.
The guy can hit a little bit, can he? 3 hits today. He's had a good series. Batting average pushing around 290 at this point. Very good contact hitter. He hits the pitch where it hits the ball where it's pitched. Good at taking it to the opposite field. His second hit to the opposite field today.
Reyes out to Weeks, and that will retire the side. So Kintzler has a nice inning. Scoreless 7th. We're on our way to the 8th. 4-2 Marlins. Great news forecast right there. Expecting some heavy thunderstorms in St. Louis. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Brewers and the Cardinals hoping to get a series started tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. That'll be our Brewers Live pregame show. And then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is a 5:30 airtime. Sunday we're on the air at 12:30. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Brewers Cardinals coming your way here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. It'll be Gallardo, Fires, and Markham in those 3 games.
Yeah, Heath Bell on for the 63rd time. That leads all Marlins relievers. He's pitched in 2 games of the first 3 in this series. An inning each, has not allowed a run. He's had a pretty good breaking pitch working for him lately. Lost his closer's role to Steve Cishek, and if Bell's able to put up a 0 in this inning, you're probably going to see the Marlins closer in the 9th.
6 blown saves for Bell. Lost that job. And now Bell the setup man, and he'll be facing the middle of the Brewers order here in the 8th inning. Braun, Hart, and Lucroy. Brewers have done a number on the Marlins bullpen so far in this series. But Heath Bell has been effective. In the first 3 games of the series, the Brewers have 11 runs in 9 innings. That's over the last 2 games against the Marlins bullpen.
Ozzie Gaines has had a fairly quick hook on his starters up until tonight. I should say today, allowing Josh Johnson to go deep into the ball game.
Johnson goes 7. He gives up 2 runs, and both of the runs came in on sac flies. Braun had one of those sacrifice flies in the 3rd inning. Braun is 1 for 2. A sac fly, an RBI, infield hit, and a stolen base. He bunted for a single his last time up. There's a strike from Bell. 1-2 the count.
And the Marlins will let him do it again. Talking about the bunt for a base hit, because you got Murphy way behind the bag.
Ryan Braun with 37 home runs, 99 runs batted in, leads the league in both of those categories. And with 1 more RBI, he'll become the first player in franchise history to have 5 consecutive seasons of 100 or more runs batted in. And he's doing it in his first 5 full seasons in the big leagues. Remember, in his rookie year, he didn't arrive to the major leagues until late May. Braun is 6th in the league in hitting to start play. Melky Cabrera still leads the league in batting average, serving a 50-game suspension for the Giants.
And by 1 point over Andrew McCutchen.
Little tapper, and Bell's going to pick it up. Underhanded to Dobbs for the out. Braun is retired. 1 away in the 8th. Ho-Chunk Gaming text question. Indoor baseball, good or bad for the major leagues?
Great.
Steve in Cambridge.
Great for the major leagues. No rain delays. What's Steve thinking?
A little hard on Steve in Cambridge.
I mean, is there any doubt that the retractable roof is the key, right? I mean, if you have a retractable roof, you can open it up when it's nice, but close her up when the weather's bad.
Perfect conditions. I'm all in.
How many rain delays do you think the Marlins have sat through in the course of their history over at that old ballpark?
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Every day at 4 o'clock it rains. Seems like.
Well, how we're going to answer that question, being that we play at Miller Park.
Yeah. But because the Brewers play at Miller Park, we've seen the benefits of it.
Right. A resounding good for baseball.
So back off, Steve.
Yeah, easy.
You got Rock all riled up in here. Got him all grumpled up. Just kidding. Thanks for checking in. Now you know what I feel like.
Just trying to have a little spice today.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seems like, the
Needs
crowd
it.
here in
So-
Miami has been very subdued and
Little apathy.
not many people. I'm just getting a little bit fired up. Maybe it'll rub off on the offense.
I like it. Maybe right here. 1-2 pitch. And maybe not. Hart strikes out. 2 gone in the inning. Braun and Hart have been retired by Heath Bell.
Good breaking ball by Bell. Goes straight down. Tough pitch for Corey to handle. Ryan Braun got the same pitch on his comebacker. Nasty breaking pitch.
Here is Lucroy with 2 away. Brewers need a base runner, a bloop and a blast. They have the kind of power in their batting order to do it. Well placed fastball from Bell, 1-1. Lucroy's had a tough day at the plate. He did line out in the 4th. He squared one up, but he has struck out twice. He had a good cut, fouls it back, and knows he missed one right down the middle. 2-2 on Lucroy. Still shaking his head. Now you don't often get those in the middle of a count, especially with a pitcher like Bell. He hasn't been all that great this year, but he's been one of the top closers prior to this season. Made 3 consecutive All-Star teams, saving 40 or more games in each of those 3 years with the Padres, and then signed a lucrative 3-year deal with the Marlins.
And did not get off to a very good start, but he's pitched much better. And you've seen why. I mean, he locates his fastball pretty well when he's going good. Got that really good breaking pitch. Got Corey Hart on it.
A man who once entered an All-Star game and slid feet first prior to getting to the mound as he was summoned from the bullpen. A pop-up slide.
Ground crew loved that.
Dug up a big divot. Lucroy fights another one off. I would imagine a lot of pressure on Bell. He's coming in, and the Marlins spent a lot of money this offseason. They brought in some big names, some marquee names. Bell was one of them. Trying to live up to the contract, maybe do more than you're capable, when what he was doing was just fine. Better than fine.
Yeah, under different circumstances. And a lot of pressure over there in San Diego. They weren't winning. But you're right. I mean, he come over there with a big contract and a lot of expectations for the ball club, and right out of the gates he struggles and has a rough time of it. Team kind of goes into the tank, and I think all of them put a lot of pressure on themselves. New ballpark, a lot of excitement, spent a lot of money.
And the Marlins starting play today, 17 games under 500. Lucroy hanging tough. Good at bat going here for Jonathan Lucroy. Marlins traded away Hanley Ramirez, traded him to the Dodgers after asking him to move to third base to make room for Reyes. Pitch number 9 against Lucroy with 2 outs. And a base hit to center field.
How about that?
9 pitches Lucroy sees and delivers with a hit, and now the tying run will come up in the 8th.
He never was able to give Lucroy that put-away breaking pitch. He threw him one late in the at-bat. He fouled it off. And then he hung this one, and Lucroy able to bang it right back into center field. That's a nice at-bat for Luke. And once again, the Brewers bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, he has a great stroke, doesn't he? Just short, compact.
Everything up the middle, particularly with 2 strikes.
Here's Gomez now. Brewers a swing away from tying this one up. And Gomez able to check his swing.
Gomez offering at the first pitch his last 2 at bats, both times flying out to center field.
Gomez homered here Monday afternoon, hit one off the top of the wall in left field, and it bounced out. Ball 2. Gomez has set a new career best in home runs. He has 16 on the year, has hit twice as many as any other season. That one's on the corner.
Gomez looking for something middle in. He loves to pitch in on him. That pitch right on the outside corner. Good pitch by Bell. Gomez looking for a mistake.
Oh, he got sawed off. That ball shot right over Corey Hart's head in the Brewers dugout. Yikes. And that went up into the stands. A scary foul ball off the bat of Carlos Gomez. And I hope everyone's all right down there. So 2-2 now. The Brewers are down 2. Lucroy at first. And Gomez offers, but able to check his swing, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gomez hit 8 home runs last year, and that was a new career best for him. He's doubled that up this season. Played more games. Ball 4.
Nice patience by Gomez.
So a 2-out walk, and Heath Bell has given up a hit and a walk, and that'll bring up Bianchi. The tying run is now aboard. The go-ahead run will come to the plate, and Randy St. Clair is on his way.
And Bianchi with a 3-run home run a couple of nights ago in the 8th inning. Let's see if Lightning can strike twice. And Bianchi representing the go-ahead run. That's good patience by Gomez. I mean, that's a pitch that ordinarily he's going to take a hack at. A 3-2 fastball that was just a bit high. And he laid off.
Steve Cishek, the Marlins closer, he's getting ready. Well, Tuesday night, Jeff Bianchi with 2 strikes, unloaded on 1. His 3rd home run of the season, and you got to hit him a long way to hit him out of this ballpark, and Bianchi did just that on Tuesday night.
Pitch down and in, just golfs it on out of here.
Well, the Brewers knocking at the door again. They scored a run in the 7th. They've had at least 2 runners on base in each of the last 3 innings. Lucroy had a 9-pitch at bat, resulting in a single. Gomez walks. Pitch count getting up there for Heath Bell. He's thrown 28 so far. Brewers do not have a hit today with a runner in scoring position. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Bianchi.
Yeah, Brewers right now 0 for 6. Looking to come up with that big hit. Figure Lucroy is scoring a base hit, and on a double you figure Gomez to be right behind him.
Gomez has great speed. Runners will be off at the crack of the bat. Bianchi trying to deliver a big hit. And a bouncing ball. Dobbs up with it. A race to the bag, and Dobbs beats him. Inning over. The Brewers strand 2 more. Still trailing 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
On scoring chances at a minimum here today, not like last night where the 2 out base hits have come through.
Well, you know what? Anytime you get down to a good pitch like Josh Johnson, it's going to be a battle. But you got to like the Brewers the way they've been battling. You know, the one thing to do, they got him out of the game. They've done real well against the Marlin bullpen. Hopefully they'll get in one more chance.
All right, we're going to have Brewers Live coming up one more time here from Miami after the ball game, Brian and Bill.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Giancarlo Stanton will lead off. Brandon Kintzler is back on the mound. His 2nd inning of work. 4-2 Marlins. They scored 3 runs in the first, and that has held up. Johnson's pitch well. Heath Bell gets through the Brewers' 8th inning, stranding a couple of base runners. Brewers have left 5 men on base in the last 3 innings. 8 total for the game. Kintzler trying to hold the Marlins at 4. Stanton takes a ball high and away. Pretty light schedule on the big league scoreboard today. One game is already final. The Braves shut out the Rockies 1-0. Another 1-0 shutout win. Back-to-back games. It was Tim Hudson today. He picked up his 14th win. Craig Kimbrell had save number 34 for the season. And the Atlanta Braves keep rolling. They're in the top spot of the wild card. Trying to keep pace with the Washington Nationals. Nationals are now 32 games over 500. They play later tonight against the Cubs. Jordan Zimmermann is back on the mound tonight. Great starting rotation of the Nationals.
Yeah, that Braves game, the only run scoring on an error.
Back-to-back nights where Atlanta has won 1-0, and each day the runs were unearned.
Yeah.
Stanton into left center. That is down, and that is going to go to the wall. Giancarlo Stanton with a leadoff double here in the Marlins 8th inning. His first hit after striking out 3 times. Stanton starts it with a double in the 8th.
Yeah, just so strong. It doesn't even look sometimes as though he's swinging very hard. Just nice and easy. Not a lot of movement until that bat's on its way to the baseball. You wonder why it is he swings and misses so much, but you talk about hitting the sweet spot on the left right there. See that ball just jump off his bat into the gap, and a leadoff double.
That is a big run for Kinsler to leave stranded. 4-2 Marlins. They have 10 hits here today. Marco Estrada at this point is on the hook for the loss. He went 5. Dobbs slaps one fair. That'll score a run. Dobbs on his way to second. An RBI double. And the Marlins take a 5-2 lead. Second RBI for Greg Dobbs.
And not messing around. Kinsler with a 2-seamer out over the plate, and the professional hitter that he is takes that one right down the left field line. That is a big run right there. That pitch trying to get away from Greg Dobbs, not far enough away, and he rips it right down the left field line.
Justin Ruggiano. Dobbs replaces Stanton at second base. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. Still nobody out. And a swing and a miss. Elsewhere on the Major League scoreboard, over in the American League, just 2 games. The Royals host the Rangers, and the Orioles host the Yankees. That starts a big series in Baltimore. 4-game series. Yankees avoided a sweep at the hands of the Rays with a victory yesterday. Yankees have a 1-game lead over Baltimore. Jason Hamill comes back tonight for the Orioles. He was their best pitcher when he was injured, a knee injury, and he returns tonight for the first time in a couple of months. There's a swing and a foul tip. Lucroy hangs on, and a strikeout for Kinsler. 1 away.
A little bit of a wrinkle for Brandon Kinsler, and going away from Ruggiano, tried to pull it. Even throws that slider hard. Good movement on his fastball, nothing really straight.
Now Ron Renicky will head to the mound with the left-handed hitting catcher Brantley coming up. And Renicky most likely will take the ball from Kinsler, and he'll call on Manny Parra. So Kinsler is out, gives up a run, goes an inning and a third today. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning by Stanton Dobbs. And with a left-hander coming up, Manny Parra will come into pitch. His 55th appearance of the season. Been an up-and-down year for Manny Parra.
Yeah, pitched on Monday. And he pitched an inning, gave up a run. A 470 earned run average. You got a left-hander, Brantley, followed by a couple of right-handers. Murphy on deck, and on Ozzie Guillen's bench, nothing but right-handed batters. And nobody getting loose in that Brewers bullpen, so this is probably Manny's inning.
Standing in front of the fish tanks. And here we go. So one away. Brantley so far today is 1 for 3. He doubled his last time up. That was off Livan Hernandez. Marco Estrada started. He went 5 innings. Gave up 4 runs. There's Dobbs. Doubled in a run just a moment ago. His second RBI of the game. And here's Brantley as he takes a ball down and away. All 4 runs against Estrada were earned runs. ERA jumps to 3.99 today. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs for Marco. He did strike out 5. Got in a hole early today. The Marlins came out swinging the bats. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. And the first 3 batters that Estrada faced all had hits, and they all scored.
Yeah, when Marco struggles, it's usually the big inning that hurts him, but very rarely is it the first. It was today.
Estrada went 5. Hernandez pitched a scoreless 6th inning, and Kinsler an inning and a third so far, and 1 run allowed. That runner at second, Dobbs, still his responsibility. Parra trying to leave him right there. 5-2. The Brewers in the 9th inning will have Segura, then a pinch hitter, and then Aoki to start it. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Brewers. Little half swing, and he was able to check it, according to Angel Hernandez. Off to St. Louis tonight. The Brewers will start a series with the Cardinals tomorrow, hopefully, weather permitting. And a cool front moving through St. Louis. They're expecting some thunderstorms, some hail.
Speaking of indoor baseball.
There you go, Steve. In the air, left field. Braun giving chase. It's got some slice on it. And Braun runs out of real estate. No assistance from the Marlins dance team for Ryan Braun. The 7th pitch of the at-bat. Another payoff pitch to Brantley. Fouls another one away. Brewers looking forward to wrapping up this long stretch of games, and especially this long stretch away from Miller Park. They're in the middle of a group of 17 games where 14 of them have been on the road. Got 3 more coming up before that stretch ends. There's only 1 more road trip.
And they're in the middle of a stretch where they played 20 straight days.
Bouncer to Weeks. And Parra finally retires Brantley. A long battle with the plate. Dobbs advances to third, but 2 men are out now. "20 in a row without an off day. The Brewers have done some of their best work of the season during this stretch of games.
Brewers have a guy down in the bullpen, a right-hander getting loose. He just started to get loose about the time that Brantley came to the plate. Apparently he's ready. Here comes Ron Roenicke.
So Roenicke will go to the pen. Josh Stinson will be making his Brewers debut in a moment. Been looking forward to watching him pitch. Parra's out. A pitching change here in Miami, and we'll set up Josh Stinson when we come back. Inning. Marlins have added a run here in this 8th, and now we're about ready to see young Josh Stinson for the first time as a Milwaukee Brewer. He did make his big league debut with the Mets last year. He is our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. He gets a second chance with another organization. The Brewers picked him up in the Rule 5 draft, and here he is, Rock, after a terrific season in the Brewers minor league system.
Yeah, 11-9 with a save, 29 appearances down in Double-A. 24 of them starts, a .316 earned run average. And his 11 wins with Huntsville, tied for the most among Brewers in the minor leagues.
And he and Taylor Youngman won 11 games in the minor league system this year. He was originally drafted by the Mets and was left off their roster, taken off their roster. The Brewers acquired him in the Rule 5 draft, off waivers, I guess you would call it, technically, back in April. And he had a save last year with the Mets, a September call-up. He got a save against the Marlins exactly 1 year ago today, September 6th of 2011. And he's back on the hill in the big leagues 1 year later. Donnie Murphy with 2 gone.
I was talking to Lee Tunnell about Stinson a couple of days ago, and he thinks a lot of this young man. He's got good movement on his pitches, and he says, and I quote, he's got the makeup to be a good major league pitcher. Not afraid to throw the ball over the plate, understands what he needs to do to be successful.
And a base hit to left. That's going to bring in another run. So Donnie Murphy, another former Met, drives in Greg Dobbs. Yeah, the Marlins have added a couple of insurance runs here in this 8th inning.
Well, one thing you don't want to do with Donnie Murphy, we've seen him now 4 days. You don't want to throw him anything on the inner half of the plate. He loves to pull the baseball. Vulnerable to breaking balls away and pitches on the outside corner. That pitch from Stinson, middle in, a sinker.
Carlos Lee, deep left center field, but Gomez is there. And Josh Stinson has his Brewers debut in the books. We go to the ninth. Brewers now down 4. Now Ron Roenicke and the Brewers find themselves down 4 runs as we go to the top of the 9th inning. 6-2 Miami. The Powerball home run leaderboard. Ryan Braun out in front. 37 home runs. That leads the league as well. Corey Hart hit his 27th here yesterday. And a 2 home run game by Ricky Weeks yesterday gives him 16. Brewers could use a few here. They need some base runners first. Down 4. Steve Cishek, the closer in a non-save situation, on to pitch for the Marlins.
And he was up and ready, and I guess when your closer's up and ready, you bring him in. 59th appearance. He's 12 for 16 in save opportunities. Very tough on right-handed batters with his delivery. That's why Ron Roenicke going to the bench and going to Nyjer Morgan.
Morgan a swing and a miss. Looks like Logan Schaefer will get his first at bat this season. He's on deck. Another one of the September call-ups. Ball and 2 strikes on Nyjer Morgan.
You can see why Cishek is so tough on right-handers. That is a kind of one of those sidearm deliveries. Got a little bit of life on that fastball at 93.
And he strikes out Nyjer Morgan. Tough duty after sitting on the bench all day to face Steve Cishek. He's been impressive. So here's Logan Schaefer now. His first big league at bat of the year. He got a little bit of time last year. Actually had a hit last season for the Brewers. In his 8 games played, he was just 1 for 3 last season. His numbers at AAA this year, .278 hitter. Hit for some power this year, had 11 home runs.
A disappointing season in the minor leagues by his standards, that's for sure. They say he's one of the best defensive center fielders in all the minor leagues. And we've seen him in spring training. He's made some terrific catches. He made a a couple of good catches up in the big leagues last year.
Yeah, he did.
Cincinnati, remember?
Schaefer at 25 years of age. He'd never hit more than 6 home runs in a minor league season. Hit 11 this year in AAA. He's got a smooth left-handed stroke. He was a third-round draft pick by the Brewers in 08. Cal Poly. And he's been knocking at the door at a big league job, and you figure he'll have a chance next season to earn a spot. Don Renneke loves his defense. He says he is game ready for the major leagues defensively right now, and has been for a few years. Hasn't really had a spot for him, though. The Brewers went out and signed Nori Aoki to a 2-year deal. Closed the door for Logan Schaefer this year. The 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Schaefer. He's always been a good hitter in the minor leagues. Last year in Nashville, hit .331 after he started the year in Double-A Huntsville and hit .302. I was talking to him about his season. He said he went through a long slump at the plate this year, one of the longest slumps of his career, and got into some bad mechanics at the plate, trying to do something a little different, and went back to his original swing, felt a little more comfortable, and he ended up hitting .278.
Good battle right now. We talked about Cishek and how tough he is against right-handers. Left-handers are hitting him at about a .290 clip. Now, right-handers about 178. So that arm delivery is tough on him. Tough on righties.
(6-2) Miami. We play in the 9th. Cishek with 1 out here in the 9th inning. And the 3-2 pitch. Schaefer rips one center field, a base hit. That is a good looking stroke. And a man aboard with 1 out.
Stayed right on it. And Cishek with that delivery has a natural tail to his fastball, and Schaefer able to stay on it and rip it into center field.
Well, they'll save the ball, but that's his 2nd big league hit.
Yeah. I guess nobody knew, right? Good approach. That was a good battle by Schaefer, and he wins it with a nice solid single into center field.
After your first big league hit, they usually don't save the ball until your 1000th. Aoki in the ground, chance for 2 to end it, and that's that. So the Marlins win the final game of this series, and the Brewers and the Marlins, a couple of splits this year as the Miami takes the final game of this 4-game set. The Brewers take the middle 2, and Milwaukee falls to 67 and 70 for the year. Back to 3 under 500. Much more still to come. We check in with Craig Kashawn standing by for Brewers Live.
All right, Brian, thanks very much. Jerry and I are getting set for Brewers Live here. Some of the topics we'll cover. Marco Estrada had a rough start to this game, and the Marlins were able to go on to win this one. And they ran into some tough pitching against Josh Johnson. We'll break it all down next.